visit of President of Italy here to Astana, and analysts say that Rome sees Kazakhstan as a strategic energy and logistic partner for Europe, and Astana views Italy as a gateway to European markets, technology and capital. Now we can see the cortege is approaching the residence of President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. Here we can see the flag, very familiar flag to our expert here sitting in our studio. And also a short personal note on President Mattarella. He was trained as a constitutional lawyer before becoming head of state. He served in a number of senior roles, including as a judge on the Italian Constitutional Court, as a minister and as Minister of Defense, giving him a reputation as a steady institutionalist and a guardian of constitutional norms. In domestic politics, he is widely regarded as an mediator and stabilizer, the kind of figure governments call on way when they need continuity and credibility. And so now the car already at the residence of President of Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. And so let me remind you that this is the second visit of President Mattarella to Kazakhstan. Before that, we hosted the Prime Minister of the country in the end of May. And now we can see he is already approaching the residence. Let me remind you that Italy is one of the main strategic partners in Europe of Kazakhstan. And today we'll be also reviewing and watching what talks the two delegates will be having. So what to watch for in today's talks? Negotiators will focus on deepening energy cooperation, advancing industrial and engineer partnership, including proposal for regional hubs that could serve Central Asia and the Caucasus, and expanding agri-industrial ties, notably Kazakhstan's grain and durum wheat exports to Italy's food processing sector. Now we can see that the President of Italy is welcoming the Kazakh delegation. Let me remind you there has been few changes in Kazakh government, and now we can see the ministers of Kazakhstan are presenting our Italian guests. And now we can see President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev is walking here by his Italian counterpart, and today they will have bilateral talks. And now, in turn, President Tokayev is welcoming Italian delegation. We can see that they are presented in quite a big form. Let me remind you that the trade turnover between the two states in 2024 reached $20 billion, which was aim of two countries when President Tokayev paid a visit last year to Rome. now heard the hymns of both countries played at the residence while accepting the Italian President Mattarella in the residence of President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. And let me remind you that there was a similar ceremony of acceptance of President Tokayev back in 2024 in Rome. And apart from the economic cooperation and energy cooperation, which is indeed core of bilateral cooperation, there are also memoranda on critical resources, joint infrastructure projects and cooperation in digitalization and public services on the table. And now we can see that two presidents are walking to wrap up the ceremony, and today they will expectedly have bilateral talks, and we will keep updated about the conclusions of them. And earlier this year we had the Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, visiting Astana, as well as President Mattarella also visiting our country for the second time in this year. On the economic front, bilateral commerce has grown strongly. According to official figures, Kazakhstan Italy trade turnover approached $20 billion last year, with Kazakhstan's exports to Italy accounting for the lion's share. That rapid increase is not just accounting, it reflects concrete projects and expanding Italian interest in Kazakh energy, logistic and agro exports, and now there are, as far as I know, more than 250 Italian companies cooperating here and working here in Kazakhstan. And Professor Alberto, again, thank you very much for joining us. So how would you, translate this ceremony and the signal of Rome visiting our country for the second time? Is it only economic aim of the country, or also it sends some diplomatic political message? It has political aim as well.
Well, of course, the economic aspect remains extremely important. Mm-hmm. However, there is surely a political and security aspect. Mm-hmm. There are many important issues on which Italy and Kazakhstan need to cooperate beyond energy. Mm-hmm. For example, the question of water resources, right, or the issues that are happening, as you know very well, involving the Russian Federation, mm-hmm, in geopolitics, in which Kazakhstan, mm-hmm, can play a very important bridging role. Mm-hmm. So it is really a mix where economy is very important, but as this relationship evolves, there are many things beyond economics. Mm-hmm.
So let's continue the topic of economics. Now we have seen that $20 billion have been reached last year, which was the aim of two countries. Mm-hmm. But what concrete projects or what concrete fields do you think would strengthen this cooperation, mm-hmm, further?
So, as you know very well, right now, the Italian enterprises in Kazakhstan have found a very important niche in energy and infrastructure related to the production of energy. There are other areas where this cooperation can be expanded, in particular in the field of critical raw materials, right, and in the field of infrastructure. And in this regard, there are some incentives at the European Union level, for example, and Italian level, where funding is made available for this kind of projects. I have in mind, for example, the Global Gateway Facility or the Critical Raw Materials Act by the European Union. So beyond this economics, you mentioned that Kazakhstan and Italy, they for sure share the same policy on the geopolitics. How do you think this strengthens the two states' cooperation? There are, well, I think the position of the two countries in foreign policy, in global politics, is quite similar. That is, in the case of Italy, Italy belongs firmly to the Western Bloc, so-called Western Bloc, however, has always had a position of dialogue with all the regions, with all the countries forming this world system. And this aligns quite well with Kazakhstan's multi-vectorial foreign policy. So there's really a common approach to international relations, which helps the interests of the two countries aligning. And then, of course, there are economic dossier, economic sectors in which the two countries really are complementary to each other.
So you mentioned that Italy wants to collaborate also with other regions. What's the interest of Italy in broader Central Asian region, not only Kazakhstan?
Well, you have, of course, the very important industrial role of China and the geographical position of the Central Asian region as the connecting factor between the two. There is a very important development of the Middle Corridor that is going to be a very important alternative to the Suez Canal and to the Russian Federation. And so this development means that for the Italian economy, the Central Asian region has and is becoming extremely important. So I would say that it is really about the role of Kazakhstan, the role of its neighbors becoming more and more crucial in world politics, in the world economy, and the Italian Republic taking notice in a timely manner of these developments.
So we mentioned already that there are many prospects apart from the energy sector to be involved for two countries. But this year, within this 9th month of 2025, we saw 20% decrease of the turnover between the two states. So what obstacles do you think are still exist between the two countries to boost their economic cooperation, and how to overcome them?
Well, aside from infrastructural factors. So there are various issues.
What do you mean infrastructural?
Yeah, so the first issue concerns the export, the infrastructure for which the export of raw materials is made from Kazakhstan to Italy. So this infrastructure is not always adequate currently. There also are issues concerning the role of the Russian Federation. I'm thinking, for example, of the Caspian Pipeline Consortium. So this is a first factor. That the infrastructure that underlies these exports is not always secure. A second factor is more concerning with rules and regulatory mechanisms.
Legal work.
Yes, in other words, legal questions. That is, even though Kazakhstan and Italy are both members of the WTO and have lowered tariffs to each other's goods considerably, there are other kinds of regulatory barriers, different technical regulations, different sanitary and phytosanitary policies that do have an impact and to which importers and exporters need to adapt constantly. So what will be needed, I think, would be work on critical infrastructure for exports, and secondly, regulatory alignment between Italy and the Republic of Kazakhstan.
Yes, so Professor Abelda, you've been working as a professor here at Kazakh University, Maksud Narbayev University. So you're actually a bridge between the two countries, and now we can see that the tourism between the two countries also is increasing, and so exchange between people to people also is increasing. And now we'll be watching also how the visits of Italian officials to pay visit to Kazakhstan, and I know how we do broadcast about them, but how the news about Kazakhstan and that Italian officials visit our country, how is it viewed in Italian media, would you say?
Well,
before also,
before and
President
after.
Tokayev paid a visit, for example, to Italy, how it's being viewed, how Kazakhstan is being viewed in Italian media?
So the view which Italian media has of Kazakhstan is very favorable. It is a country that is firmly considered to be a partner and a friend of Italy. Our media and people also know about the success of Italian cultural production, of Italian music, of Italian literature in the region. So yes, the media and the people, I might say even, regard very favorably the current development of relationship with Kazakhstan and Kazakhstan itself. So yes, it is really a very positive appraisal that you have in Italian society and Italian media about the relationship with Kazakhstan.
Yes, and as I told you, you're a bridge between the two countries. What would you say in this culture field and education field? Now we have many universities, presented in Kazakhstan, and also, we do share the heritage of both nations. What can be done more, do you think? What project could be initiated here at the educational sector which you are working right now, perhaps?
Yes, actually your question is really important and interesting. Education and cooperation education was identified in the 30th of May joint declaration by the Prime Minister of Italy and the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan as being really one of the most important sectors for future development. And yeah, there is a lot of work that is being done right now in order to push forward this sector. You probably will know that in 2023, the first Institute of Italian Culture in Central Asia opened in Almaty. There is also increased cooperation, university-to-university cooperation, the establishment of joint programs, for example, with the Polytechnic University of Marche in Ancona. On my side, in a smaller level, Maksud Narik University cooperates a lot also with Italian partners. There is a history of cooperation with the University of Bologna, which is the most ancient university in the world. So really, there's a lot of work being done right now and a lot of possible expansion because, and this is my final word, I think there are a lot of good things in the Italian university and higher education model which would really be welcome or would really create very good synergies with the teaching and the research that is being carried out by Kazakhstani institutions.
And still on political level, now we can see the crisis with Ukraine, as well as Italy has recently recognized the state of Palestine, so the Middle East, so there are many conflicts and regions which could be in focus of Italy. And still, what is the place of our country and our region in the foreign policy of Italy? How big it is, do you think?
Well, if I may, it is something that the spectator will have to check. I believe that as far as yesterday, at least, Italy has not yet recognized the state of Palestine. If I'm not wrong, this has been done by France and the United Kingdom.
Yeah, Canada, Australia, yeah.
Exactly, which are all very important partners for Italy. But Italy has not yet made this step. Well, in Italian foreign policy, to speak about the broader region, traditionally, so I'm speaking about from the 90s to today, the role of Central Asia has been seen mainly as a place where Italian enterprises could develop their expertise, develop their market, and a place where extremely important critical raw materials could be sourced. However, this very limiting view has changed and is changing. And this is proved by the fact that the President of the Republic, who has a very important role in our foreign policy, of course, has come twice, I believe, yes, in the last year, in the Republic of Kazakhstan.
Yes, I just brushed up the commentary of Prime Minister Meloni. She was commenting on Gaza that the recognizing the state of Palestine will not actually solve the crisis over there. So thank you very much for correcting me. And to sum up, how would you describe this exactly visit? And do you think this will be how different this visit will be? Maybe this will open other doors between the two countries. Let's sum up.
Well, yes, it's, I mean, a lot of doors, I think, are already open between the countries. Both partners are really eager and willing to move on and to develop this relationship. I have read that the President of the Italian Republic, Sergio Mattarella, will have a very busy schedule here. He's going not only to be in Akorda, he will also speak at a Kazakhstani higher education institution, the Academy of Public Administration. He's going to meet with business. So it is really I would say, 360 degrees visit that takes into account the economy, politics, policy, and business and science as well.
So thank you very much, Professor Alberto, for your answers at time. And today I was joined by Professor at Marikbayev University, Alberto Pecoraro, who answered our questions regarding the agenda of the official visit of the Italian President Sergio Mattarella to Kazakhstan. We'll be following the upcoming events and we'll share it with you, so stay tuned and watch Silkvi TV channel. See you later.